I'm Rachel Batasamwa, and I've been following an up-and-coming artist from Southeast London by the name of Isaiah Theo. In this documentary, I will discover his journey to making music and what drives his passion, the challenges he has faced in the industry, as well as his achievements. I will get up close and personal with the rapper as he lets me get a glimpse into his creative world.
What's good, people? I go by the name of Isaiah Theo. Where I'm from South London, Croydon. Know about us, it's the NZ, you get me. I'm an artist, rapper, songwriter, producer, I'm all that shit. So how life was like growing up in the ends and the influences. Life in the ends was, I'd say it's alright, the usual. You have the road youths, you have the nerds, book orientated, and then you have those in the middle. That's kind of like myself, I would say. I do know guys that do such things or extra activities that they do in their spare time. However, I do know individuals that are hard working, make legitimate money, go to church and all that stuff. So all of that, I'd say, was kind of the good and the bad put together. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would say that kind of influenced my music or how I say things, within topics in my music as well. And also, I would say the influences were mainly my brethrens during the time in secondary school. In year 7 up until year 11, you just wanna have fun. You wanna chill with the man them. You wanna meet a couple gal and that. So you chill with the man them and you do things together. And within, of course, basketball, football and all that stuff, music has always been something that was embedded. So we'll just sometimes just chill on a bus, have our Sonny Ericsson. But yeah, so you would have your Sonny Ericsson, play it in the background, put it against the window in the bus so that it plays louder, and then there will be a beat. So back then it was grime. Grime was a thing, man were, doing all them thing there. So yeah, it started off really as grime first, and we were just doing quick 8 bars, quick 16s, 32s, sometimes even battle each other, just to kind of see who was the best. Yeah, it was the thing. But I'd say the major influence during that time especially was Chipmunk. You got to understand, obviously he calls himself Chip now. He was the one that was making you feel like you could be young, black and rich in music, and that's what kind of set it off for a lot of people amongst myself. So yeah, at what age did I discover music? That's a good question. So I discovered music, I would say, at around 6-7 years old. When I grew up, my parents loved house parties. Like, if they weren't going to a house party, they were making one every Sunday. Every Sunday they were going somewhere, whether it be east, north, west, south London, it just didn't matter. And me being the firstborn, I was there, literally. So you gotta understand all different kinds of music. So it's not literally just rap and hip hop music that I was influenced by, but I was influenced by the music within the 60s, 70s and 80s. So you gotta think about the names like Luther Vandross, Patti LaBelle, the Commodores, Lionel Richie, Bob Marley. I grew up with a lot of Bob Marley. Though that kind of music, the funk vibe played a huge influence in my life when it comes to feel-good music. So that really influenced myself within music. But if I had to say one person that influenced my music at that age, I loved Michael Jackson. Literally, I didn't have the hat, but I had the snapbacks. I had, the blazer, the shoes, and I just tried to be like Michael Jackson, literally, just like every other kid would have been like during those times. So yeah, that was my influence back then. How did the pandemic affect my music? That's a really good question as well. So I would say, for me personally, as I'm still on the rise, I'm still on the come up, I wouldn't say it really affected my music. If anything, it probably made me want to make more music. It's funny, I saw a video on social media, and it basically was saying, if you're trying to be a footballer, if you're trying to be an actor, if you're trying to be an artist, or anything that involves, videographers, photographers, and being online, this is the best time, this is your stage, because everyone's at home now. Everyone's got their phone, everyone's got their laptop, tablets, or whatever devices that they have in front of them that they consistently go on. So if you think about, you know, like TikTok really blew up during this period of time, or Twitter, Instagram, those kind of things, those kind of platforms is where, you know, if you're in the dark, you can now come out of your show and show people what you can do. So I would say for me, during the pandemic, music was okay for me. What is my creative process when it comes to music? This question is kind of tricky, can't even lie, because there is a process, but there's not a process at the same time. So I could be at work, I could be walking, I could even be at church sometimes. It's mad when I should be listening to the sermon, you know, an idea just pops up, but it's a gift from God, so I can't really knock it. But yeah, sometimes when I have that idea, it can literally just come to mind, or there's a topic that I want to talk about in terms of, you know, either my life, my perspective, or someone else's perspective. And then once I have it, I literally pull out my phone, voice recorder, I'll be like, no, like this, mic check, I'll have it there, and I save the recording, so that way I can go about the rest of my day, and then when I get to the point of where I'm ready to come and sit down and make music, I go back to that idea, or play it. Sometimes when I have it recorded back, it doesn't really sound as great, but sometimes it could just be a certain melody that I'm doing, or how I say certain lyrics, or there's a bar that I feel like is really hard, and I'll just jot that down. And yeah, that's how it all normally starts off. So basically, without my iPhone or the voice recorder app on my iPhone, I'll probably be nothing. So yeah, that's mainly the process. So what was my inspiration for my EP? So I have an EP called Told. It's actually an acronym for Thinking Out Loud Deliberately. So that was the embodied topic and idea that I had for my project at the time. I have many things that I keep in this mind of mine, and I just wanted to express it. It's a 5-track EP, and yeah, what it was, basically. Go-to artist or artists that I know that I want to work with. There's so many to even pick from, whether it be American or UK, there's so many to pick from, but obviously from the UK, so might as well start with UK. In terms of UK, I would say Wretch 32. He's so cold. I want to know how his process is and how he comes up with you know, his lyrics, or even the topics of songs that he makes. Yeah, Wretch is definitely who I want to work with. In 5 years, where do I see myself? I have had people ask me that question. In the game, chart topping, hopefully, you know, top 20 or top 10 somewhere, you know, and hopefully maybe even a mobile, you know, and God willing, also an album. So yeah, that's where I see myself in 5 years, killing the game. So does my family support my music? Those who come from my background, so I come from a Ghanaian background, so an African household, mainly Ghanaian or Nigerian. Your parents want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, physiotherapist, all of these things, do you know what I'm saying? Because it sounds pleasing to the ear, and you know, the perception of you being some sort of doctor or a person of importance within that field is always something that they bring about. However, thank God, I was very fortunate to have a mother that really allows me to be open about what I feel, and also what I want to do in future. She's known from years that I've always wanted to do music, and she loves it, she appreciates it. I think mainly it's because she comes from a musical background herself. I mean, when she was in Ghana and how she grew up as well, she was into, you know, music herself. She was part of the choir, her church choir. Yeah, and she came from siblings that also that are into music as well. So her younger brother is a producer, songwriter, artist. Older sister made an album, you know, as a gospel artist. And yeah, so music really resides within this family. So when I told her that I wanted to make music, it makes sense. It's like chicken and jollof. It makes sense, so yeah. Right, my biggest achievement in music, I haven't had any record number sales, happening as of yet, but God willing, it shall come to pass. But my biggest achievement, I would say, when it comes to music, I think roughly 3 years ago, round about the time that I was making my EP, Told, it's funny, I was having a conversation with my mom, and I was like, Mom, like I'm gonna make it. Trust me, one day. I don't know how, but it's gonna come. But right now, I feel like, the game ain't trying to bring me in, or there's something that I'm not doing right. I've been at it, but no one's hitting me back, or there's no huge change happening as of yet. On that same day, funny enough, I got a DM from Mobile Awards, and they hit me up telling me that they really like my song, and it was actually one of the songs that they wanted to playlist, which was Rise, which is out now, of course, with a music video there on Mixtape Madness. And yeah, they hit me up saying they liked it and they're gonna playlist it. And yeah, that day I was so over the moon, literally. Made me really think that it's really possible. So yeah, we thank God. And yeah, when they hit me back, it was amazing. So yeah, big up Mobile Awards. Biggest challenge, I think it's amongst many challenges that most artists, whether rappers, singers, even instrumentalists, drummers and all that stuff, getting promoted, finding the right social media platforms to just push you, really. It's that's the only thing. Creating the music and making the music is the easy part, or what I've learned and grown to understand, that's the most easiest part. But the hardest part is actually getting out there. So, you can have a single or a song that you think, oh yeah, this is hard, this is cold, this is definitely gonna bust, man. This is definitely gonna make me blow. Not that it won't make you blow, but sometimes it's just not the case. So, that's why how the saying goes, it's not a 100-meter sprint, it's a marathon. So you just got to keep on going and be consistent, and then God willing, one day you would make it. So I think that's the biggest challenge, is just promoting it. As well as that, I'd say sometimes you can procrastinate. Sometimes reality hits, it comes, and you can just be like, yeah, I want to do this, but I've got this happening. Yeah, of course, that's fine, but you just got to set aside time where you're making or doing what you love doing. In my case, obviously music. So I always had to find time regardless of my reality, if that makes any sense. So yeah, so I'd say promoting, motivation, procrastination, and sometimes writer's block as well. If those of you that don't know what writer's block is basically when you're creating, like if you're a book writer or an author basically, or a poet, you have an idea and then you hit like a mental brick wall basically, and that can prevent you from being creative further, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, those are the things I would say are challenges. But besides that, if you've got the love for it, you will overcome all of it. So yeah, my favorite song currently, there's so many. I got a list. If you look at my Spotify now, it's just a whole heap of songs. I would say my favorite song now is Pounds and Dollars by Cash, who was formerly known as Cashtastic, featuring Millions. Yeah, go listen to that. I think that tune is hard. I've been banging that. It's got the drill element currently now, but it's still more about bars. Who's got the hardest lyrics now, do you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely a groove. So yeah, Cashtastic or Cash featuring Millions, Pounds and Dollars is currently my favorite tune. So yeah, big tune.
As I rounded up the interview with Isaiah, one thing I can say is I see a young man who is deeply rooted in his passion, and it won't be too long before he shoots to fame.